head. Get up, get out of bed, live, love, laugh, and be happy.
Good morning. Before we begin Saturday Morning Live, let's first of all get to the SML news. Our top story today: thieves broke into the Little Rock Police Department last night and cleaned out one of the restrooms. Detectives have nothing to go on. State police were unavailable for that investigation. They were out tending to a tractor-trailer rig that had overturned on the freeway, spilling its contents into the median. The truck was carrying wigs and hair pieces, and troopers are out there now combing the area. In Hollywood, an awkward moment in the funeral for Harvey Putnam. In case you don't recognize the name, he's the man who invented the hokey pokey. At his funeral service, the coffin lid kept popping open because they had trouble putting his right foot in. In local news, Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders has announced she will propose a special tax in the next legislative session. She's expecting to raise over $5 million with a 2-cent sales tax on suntan lotions. It'll be called the Burns Act. She said in her written statement, what this measure will do for both state government and sunbathers is keep us all out of the red. The money is expected to be used for inflatable podiums that legislators can carry with them to all public appearances. In response, the Arkansas Democratic Party said inflatable podiums shouldn't be a problem for blowhards. And finally, Tyson Foods announced today they have developed a new social media platform for chickens. It'll be called Facebook. It'll be called Facebook. Okay. I can take a hint. Let's just start the morning music. I'm getting played off now. So much for the SML news. Jane, you want to come in here and save this? She's in the other room. Welcome to a June 1st edition of Saturday Morning Live, the Facecast. And it's all about joy on a weekend, getting your Saturday off to an energetic start. In case you had nothing planned, after we get done, you'll forget what you hadn't had planned to begin with. Here's Jane, stepping right in.
I just love getting up so early.
Oh, it's not that early. It's 10:02. This is Saturday Morning Live, being brought to you by Imagination. Saturday Morning Live being brought to you by Walnetto Arts and Entertainment, where imagination can lead to a 52-year marriage. How about that? It was, whether you knew it or not, it was imagination that had a lot to do with it.
I imagine we could get married. I don't know where to put this.
I imagine so. Let me turn you up there. You're going to attach it to your beads.
Well, I attach it to the piece of jewelry that my son made for me.
Now, in Channel 11, they would advise against that because you get a rattle. But then you're getting the sound of my son's jewelry and not just the...
Well, all right. What about now? Yeah.
There you go.
No, I heard it.
Okay. We're having our own homemade oops moment.
Oops. Can I put it up this high?
Sure.
How's that?
There you go. Perfect.
Not too loud?
Absolutely perfect. Oh. Jane and I have been reading the same book at the same time, fighting
Sort of.
over the book. It's the second Harry Potter book, but this is the first time in our 52-year marriage that we both read the same book, the actual book, at the same time.
I haven't read these in 20 years or something, and it's really fun to go back.
Oh, my God.
But it's also difficult to get a book away from him. Except he counts. He says, I'm only reading 12 pages today.
No, it's 20.
Or 20 pages today.
50 on weekends.
Whereas I just read it all.
Uh-huh. See, Jane goes, she's the whole book right now.
Genius.
And I parcel it out.
Oh,
based on self-discipline. Oh, did you knock your microphone off?
That's all right. I'm sure it
Another
sounds
oops
fine.
moment. I don't get that oops moment. That does not go under my name. So
Oh, it was me. Did that sound okay?
another first for our 52-year marriage, besides reading the same book at the same time. The other day, I'm pulling down Tyler as Jane is leaving on Tyler. Our two cars are about to pass each other, and we both realize it. So we stop, roll down our windows, and Jane goes, and I quote, "Are you going to the store? Could you get toilet paper and a can opener?"
That's not exactly how it went, but it was just like this. I was in a hurry to get somewhere. I'd been to one of my favorite grocery stores, but they don't sell toilet paper and they don't have can openers. But anyway, I was in a hurry and he was coming one way and I was going the other, and I pulled up and I said, "We need toilet paper and a can opener. I'll see you later. Bye."
52 years of marriage, and that's the first time she's ever said that to me.
Well, it's both of them are pretty necessary for one end or the other. They're pretty necessary. So just didn't have it. I love Fresh Market. I'll just give them a plug.
That's going to be my next book.
What?
Funny things you've said, managed to say to your partner, even though you've been married over 30 years. You want to show off your new artwork?
Well, if you can do it without smearing it up against the window.
This is not an oops. This is not going to be an oops.
Okay. Well, last week I had what I'm doing. Let me start from the beginning.
All right, start from the beginning.
I'm doing a 20-page coloring pages set, not a book, but they're 20 coloring pages, and this is the theme. It's called, the theme is traveling through imaginary lands on fantastical beasties. So I have been to 18 imaginary lands now with fantastical beasties. I got 2 more to do, and then hopefully next month or by the end of this month I'll be able to get them printed off and on my website, Jane F, not S, but F Hankins.com, under coloring pages. Okay, this one, how's this? And then I don't smack it right up against there. Wait, back off a little. There you go. That one is the giant seahorse gives the little mermaids a ride by the coral castles to say hello to old King Crab. If you could pull it up a little bit and back off.
Oh,
there
look
you
at
go.
the King Crab. Look
There's
at that.
King Crab down there at the bottom. But that, it's under the sea, but I would say that's an imaginary land. But I've been watching a lot of nature programs about under the sea, and I always love mermaids. But this took a while.
There's the mermaid taking
I
a
would
ride.
have to do something when there are 8 million little teeny tiny scales to have to draw, but I usually start with the drawing with pencil and get it all in, and then I go over it with ink, and then I erase all the pencil. But some of them I do freehand. My first coloring page set, which is Imaginary Worlds, was done all freehand. That was when I was recovering last year from my terrible fall, spraining my ankle on Memorial Day.
She was walking to the store to get a can
I
opener and
was.
toilet paper.
No, I was trying to walk down to the river, and I stepped on some sand and was watching this little boy poke at snakes, and I said, "You really ought not to." Oh, that went.
That's another oops.
Anyway.
One oops leads to
So
another.
I just sat there for about a month and drew freehand. And I went, why not do these as coloring pages? And they're limited edition. There are a few of those sets left. But enough about me. It's just, I feel like right now we need some imaginary worlds. We need some escape. And there's nothing wrong with that. And so I have to discover 2 more imaginary lands with fantastical beasties, and then I'll have the whole set done.
One other thing, you need to know that Jane could also have been a singer at one time. She had to make the choice between being a singer and being an artist. She chose,
I can still
obviously,
sing, but...
she can still sing, and she has perfect pitch, and that has led to what I think is a talent that I never knew existed. Would you care to do your mockingbird? Jane can talk to a mockingbird.
Mockingbirds, I'll tell you something I've learned about birds, especially aggressive birds. If you look them in the eye, they won't try to attack you. And that's true with raptors, and I found it's true with mockingbirds, which were normally very aggressive birds.
This show has already paid off.
I have one mockingbird that started to visit us last year, and now if I go out in the front yard, he goes and sits on the street sign on the corner and sits there and looks at me. And I say, "You are the sweetest bird. What you want to hear is there's." And I swear to God, I hear him doing that. And he's got a rival in the backyard.
Folks, turn your computer up. Turn the sound up. Now look out your yard. You should be seeing mockingbirds answering.
Going, what the heck? Well, actually, I started to talk to a crow yesterday, but I was a little too embarrassed.
It's Phil Crow. He lives in... No, I'm just kidding.
No, crows can count. And I've done this before. They'll go, ah! And then I'll go, ah, ah! And then they go, ah, ah! And then they can count to 4. And you can get them to go up to 4. It's really fun.
Incredible.
We don't have any pets, per se, except as a
Well, you're one.
Anyway, so I've really gotten into birds, and I'm waiting on, I wish we had a Mississippi kite nesting closer.
Do the kite. This is...
Forgot. It's real similar to what I was going. I can't do it.
Oh, come on. Do the kite one time. Beautiful. I swear they respond to it, y'all.
Not really, but they don't. But I also stand there and go, ah! And they'll come and look. But they've been around and they've never attacked us. We had one that was attacking my neighbor's dog, and finally I said, "Here, she had an umbrella." And I had the dog come stand right next to me, and they had another elderly dog. And here came that juvenile Mississippi kite, and he swooped down. He didn't bother me, and he didn't bother the dog that he had been bothering, but he pecked the old dog that was on the corner trying to do his business. Actually, they don't peck, they swat you with their tail feathers.
See?
Raptors
You're learning
hunt with
so
their
much
feet.
about this.
Anyway, tune into Jane Talks About Birds. And if you'll look, how do you do that? Anyway, if you look behind his noggin, out of there, that is my bird lady painting. Yeah, I thought that'd be appropriate.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Jane. Artwork, bird calls. You gotta admit, incredible cook. And if you're going to the store, could you get some toilet paper and a can opener? Thank you, sweetie. I'm going to read now from my book.
Oh, I guess that's my cue.
Well, no, you can sit there and make comments if you want while I read. This is a chapter that is. I'm going to take your mic off. This is a chapter that involves one of the more awkward moments of my career. And I think you've heard this. Actually, you've lived it, so you know what I'm about to read.
Bless your heart.
The new audiobook will be coming out soon. I'm about to finish. It's going to be called Whatever Happened
Don't
to...
say that. Give yourself time.
No, I mean it. I've got it. I bet I can get it done in another week, and we're going to do an audiobook.
I was about to finish with these. Okay, I'll stop.
And we're going to give you a preview right now of one of the more awkward moments in the 54-year-old broadcast history, from the audiobook, Whatever Happened to Craig O'Neill. And I think this is chapter whatever. In August, your Razorback coverage officially begins with Media Days up in Fayetteville. Coach Houston Nutt again made himself available for a THV preseason promo. Coach and I are sitting in the stadium in this promo, and Houston is asking me to say it, Craig, just say it. Come on, Craig, just say it. And I'm shaking my head like I don't want to. But finally, after he begs me again, I agree to saying it. It's an Arkansas Razorback. And Houston joins me in saying, first down. Fun promo. Little did we know at Channel 11 that the day before, the late Paul Eels of Channel 7, had done a promo eerily similar to mine. His involved not only Houston Nutt, but the whole football team, in which Paul fires them all up with his catchphrase, "Touchdown, Arkansas!" And the team goes berserk. I have a confession to make. Mine was funnier, but as a Razorback fan watching Paul's, I got fired up a whole lot more. I get back home from Fayetteville after that, and the next day, before going to work, it's the phone. It's 2002. I have a flip phone that still said Frank on the small screen. It was Coach Broyles. Frank. Craig, this is Frank Broyles. I have some bad news. I've heard from several of my sponsors, and they would prefer it if I make my football announcer at the games the same as my basketball announcer. I'm going to have to replace you in the stadium booth. Me. All the while thinking, what sponsors? The sponsors loved me. I'd gotten close to all of them. But good old take one for the team, namby-pamby, roll over dead, Craig O'Neill simply said something like, "Okay, I understand." Frank. "Hey, Craig, but I still want you to host that party before the game, the hog trough. Fans love that hog trough party." I told him I would think about it and call him back, which I did about 30 minutes later, and I told him no, that my TV duties had gotten so demanding I needed to back out of the trough party too. He understood. He fired me, I fired him. That was it. 2 calls, grand total of 1 minute, 34 seconds for both, and my stadium voice career was over. True confession. I was incredibly relieved. Game days averaged 12 hours, even longer if there was an 11 a.m. kickoff. I would miss the notoriety of being involved with the game itself. At least now, my life had been simplified. I could concentrate on TV only. It could explain why my THB management team at that time never really got upset by Coach Broyles' call. But the question remained, what sponsors? And a few days later, it hit me. You see, Channel 7, they have paid good money into the Razorback athletic program to have their guy, the late Paul Eels, and the voices that had come before him hold the title of Voice of the Arkansas Razorbacks. It was a decades-old arrangement. Here was this upstart TV sports guy, former DJ, starting to MC Razorback Club events statewide, carrying a game day identity with him wherever he went, and the university was paying him $150 a game. Things were okay as long as I was a radio DJ. When I was a DJ, I wasn't a threat. But once I moved into TV, KTV threw a flag and the call, encroachment. My suspicions have been confirmed by a guy who goes to church with the wife of the man who delivers laundry to the brother of the neighbor who once played golf with Coach Broyles. In other words, I've never had it confirmed, but I think it's sound reasoning. Bitter? No. My load had been made lighter. Besides, I would be vindicated by a caller into Drive Time Sports with Randy Rainwater. It was early October after I'd been fired. The Hogs had been beaten badly by Alabama in Fayetteville the week before, and I'm on my way to cover a high school football game and just happened to be listening to Drive Time Sports when I heard this. Randy Rainwater. "Go ahead, caller. What you got on your football mind?" Caller. "Hey, Randy, have y'all noticed how much better the Razorbacks played at home when Craig O'Neill did the stadium announcing?" No, I had no idea who that caller was. A random caller, I swear to you. It wasn't me doing the voice either. Randy Rainwater and Rick Shaper didn't even suspect me putting the guy up to it, and I didn't. I just happened to be listening, and I couldn't help but smile. A fan had noticed in his own particular way. And I love the Rick Shaper mini tribute in response to the guy's call. Something about Craig O'Neill bringing flair to whatever he does. That call on that little trip to the high school football game, that was all I needed. That was all I needed. And with that, they're playing me off. The audiobook will be available soon. You'll be the first to know. I'm hoping to sell well over 15 copies. By the way, we're on YouTube. Go to, in case you missed it, you're joining us late. I don't know how you could be because I'm going way long. Anyway, if you're joining us late, it's on YouTube. Craig O'Neill, Saturday Morning Live, Arkansas. And hit subscribe so my brother can get his money back for all this equipment. This has been Saturday Morning Live, brought to you by Walnetto Arts and Entertainment, where imagination has given birth to Facebook. Facebook.